Today we've come up with a list of 6 things we really are impressed about Holland America, and 3 things that we think people should know before they book Holland America. So stay tuned and we'll tell you our list. Hi everyone.
Hello.
Well, if you've been watching our vlogs, you know that we are back from our latest cruise on the Rotterdam, and that makes 28 consecutive days cruised on board Holland America over 3 different ships: the New Amsterdam,
New Rotterdam.
and then the most recent one, the Rotterdam.
Rotterdam 7.
The Rotterdam 7, yes, for sure, yes. And this was actually our first time ever cruising Holland America. All 3 of these cruises were the first time we've been on board. So now that we've finished these 3 cruises, I think we have a pretty good idea what we like or don't like about Holland America.
We were on the New Amsterdam prior to the shutdown, and it was the very last cruise that we were able to sail on before the last shutdown. And we were so impressed with it that we immediately started booking more. So that tells you mainly how we feel about it right there.
For sure, yeah. And then we had 2 post-COVID cruises, and all 3 combined. I think we have a pretty good feel for what we really like and don't like.
So one of the first things that sort of stands out on the Holland America line is the decor of their ships. They are beautifully designed ships. They are comfortable and yet pretty at the same time. The seating arrangements, the various types of venues throughout the ship, whether that goes from a lounge to their dining room, all of it is very beautiful. It's a gorgeous looking ships they have.
I would describe it as classic cruising, and I think they use that terminology in their marketing themselves, is that there's nothing over the top. It is not a theme park cruise, but it is a very classy upscale cruise. And we did expect going into Holland America that it was going to be, it is a premier cruise line. We thought it was going to be classy, but I think it met or exceeded our expectations, especially the newer ship, the Rotterdam, was just beautiful.
Yeah, the little things that catch your eye that you don't maybe notice the first moment you get on, but when you see the flowers, they're all real fresh flowers throughout the ship. The little touches like that sort of stand out.
Yeah, the artwork in the stairways, little things like that went a long way to make it feel like it was a really upscale experience.
Mm-hmm.
So the second thing that really caught my attention about Holland America, and this goes all the way back to New Amsterdam, and the first days we walked onto the ship, was the entire pool environment. It was probably better than any pool area that we've ever been on, as far as there was real plants blowing in the breeze. There was classy lounge chairs, high quality chairs with cushions on it. There were towels that you didn't have to be accountable for your towels. You took as many as you wanted and put them back, and they were cleaned and replaced again, and there were stations all around the pool area. So none of this having to keep track of your towel from your room and
having to line up to get a towel when you're trying to disembark on the ship. You don't have to do that. You don't have to sign out towels. Yeah. So that just it's much more relaxing. You're not in some big long line trying to get a towel.
Yeah, to manage your towels. Yeah. So that's a little thing, but it kind of goes more towards a better experience, an easier going experience. And I guess the other part of the pool area, especially on the New Amsterdam, and I think on the Rotterdam as well, is the poolside cabanas. We rented retreat cabanas that were up a couple levels on Rotterdam and New Rotterdam, but having those cabanas is again another level of experience when it comes to that whole poolside area. So overall, I think they do their pool areas probably better, or at least classier and much more relaxing and than any other cruise we've been on. And then that's again the experience they're trying to get, I think, to people.
And it's probably geared to a more mature cruiser. It's not full of water slides and all of those sort of amusement park type water features. It is just pools and hot tubs and comfortable lounge chairs.
For sure.
And so the third thing we'd like to mention is the actual room and the little extra touches that you notice in the room compared to cabin, I should say. Sorry.
For those picky.
So your cabin compared to other ships that you go on, there's a lot of little extra touches that I appreciated on the Holland America line.
Umbrella.
umbrella in the room, so you don't have to worry about packing an umbrella in case you're coming into weather. There's one there. You can take it and use it for your day if you need to. I really liked that. Another thing is they have a little dry bar area where you have a variety of glasses to drink out of. So there's wine glasses, champagne glasses, on the rocks glasses. So that's nice if you're going to have drinks in your room. The other thing in the rooms that some cruise lines don't offer is you have on-demand movies, which is very nice extra feature that we enjoyed, especially on the new Rotterdam when we were on it, and COVID was a little more of a concern at that time, so we spent more time watching movies in the evening.
Yeah, for sure. Works like a PVR in your house. You just pause it, you come back tomorrow, you watch the same movie from the same spot. Really, really interesting, great selection. So yeah, not that we watch TV much on a cruise, but when we had to, it was a really nice feature to have. Mm-hmm. So number 4 is the quality of the musicians on board. Mm. And it doesn't matter what type of music you like, whether it is rock and roll, whether it's a sing-along at a piano bar, a little bit of blues, a little bit of classical music. You're going to find that musicians on Holland America are top-notch, like really good, to a level beyond probably what we've seen on any cruise ship before. We've had some luck with some really good musicians here and there, but as far as an entire team of musicians on a ship, second to none, I would argue.
Yeah, they do their music walk really well. You can tell that they've invested some money into that.
For sure. The musicians are top-notch. It doesn't matter what venue you're at. You're going to have a good experience when it comes to the music.
Yeah.
And you're up.
The other one that we really appreciate is food quality. If you've watched any of our vlogs, you know that we enjoy eating when we're on vacation, probably to an excess at times. But it's hard not to when you're on a Holland America line because they have phenomenal choices, whether that is the daytime eating venues, like they have their New York style pizza that you can get pizza and sandwiches throughout the day. They have a wonderful burger joint.
Oh yeah, for sure. The dining room food is top notch. You can't go wrong eating in the dining room every single night. I wouldn't lose anything in the experience if I never ate at a specialty restaurant on Holland America. And I always say that's a good measure of a cruise ship's food service is when there isn't a premium on having to eat at a specialty dining. Right. That you can enjoy what you get with your cruise fare, and it is really, really good.
Yeah, we even have had great room service.
Yeah.
Food delivered to our room. We have gone and done the specialty in the steakhouse, and yes, absolutely amazing. So I can only imagine that their other specialty restaurants are just as great too. But yes, food quality overall, it is by far a big plus on Holland America. Yeah,
you'll be hard pressed to find a bad meal anywhere on the ship. That it is excellent food. Mm-hmm. So the last thing that impresses us about Holland America, and this might surprise you maybe more than all the rest, is price.
Yeah.
Like when we compared dollar to dollar and we sat down and we compared the price of these cruises to other options we had for when we were traveling, I'd say almost all 3 of these were chosen based on price more than just simply the experience. And that's saying that we weren't paying extra to have the Holland America experience. We were surprised to get the Holland America experience for a really good price compared to other cruise lines. We actually canceled a cruise on the Carnival Pride to book the Rotterdam. Because when we priced out the drink package and compared the same type of cruise experience between the 2 different cruises, Holland America was actually cheaper, and that may surprise you to learn that. It surprised us.
It surprised us for sure.
Yeah. So price is a big plus. When you can get that type of experience for that value, then how can you go wrong? Like we definitely, I think one of the big reasons we would cruise Holland America again is because it is an affordable option and a quality experience.
For sure.
Okay, now we're going to talk about the 3 things that we surprise us in a negative way. Okay, so the first thing that surprised me was the vegetarian menu, or should I say the lack of consistency of how it was used across the 3 different ships we were on. And I think that extended also to the seating arrangements in the dining room. It seemed to be a little different on every ship. And so, as an example, on the very first cruise on the New Amsterdam, I mentioned to our waiter that, do you have a vegetarian menu? I like vegetarian food more so than meat. And he went out of his way. Oh, here's a menu. Every night you can order, and we'll set it up for you the next night. And there was a great setup for vegetarian dining. And I basically customized vegetarian meals every single night on that cruise. And it was wonderful. So we stepped forward into New Rotterdam. We went on board, and I asked about the vegetarian menu, wondered if I could use it. And there's a little bit of confusion with the wait staff. They weren't quite sure. They said they'd get back to us. They went to the maitre d', I guess, and they did set it up for us. So once we had the table arrangements figured out and they kind of kicked it into gear, we were back up and running the same way we did with New Amsterdam. So I thought, okay, let's save kind of this whole, let's tell them at the start of the cruise and try to get it set up. I'm going to do this ahead of time. So for Rotterdam, I went on and we specifically mentioned that I wanted a vegetarian menu for the cruise. I arrived, I expected, like we've done with other cruise lines, for them to know this dietary requirement and have something already in place. And it's like they didn't even know. They had no idea that I had requested vegetarian. We went to the front desk, we asked them how we get the vegetarian set up, especially since we had a different wait staff every single night in a different table. How do you do that order the night before and have it at your table the next day when you don't even know where you're sitting each day? So I never ended up ordering once from the vegetarian menu on the Rotterdam, and then that's fine because the food, as we've mentioned on Holland America, fantastic. I didn't have a bad meal the whole week, even though I didn't get to choose some of my favorites off the vegetarian menu. The dining experience was still wonderful. So it's just a little bit of inconsistency there. So if it is something specific for you that you're looking at purely a vegetarian menu, just to warn you that you may have to really do a lot of advocating to make sure you get it. I think it was available in Rotterdam if you really jump through the hoops.
Yeah, we didn't want to be too pushy about it.
It wasn't a big deal.
It's not like it was a food allergy.
No.
It was just a food preference. If it was a food allergy, obviously we would have taken it more seriously and sort of advocated more for ourselves.
Exactly. So yeah, I was just surprised it wasn't consistent from ship to ship. I thought that'd be kind of a standard thing across the entire cruise line, but we were surprised to find out it wasn't. But all in all, still gained 7 pounds. So I obviously had no problem with the food.
The second one that sort of gave me a little pause was the main theater shows in the World Stage Theater. On the Rotterdam and the New Rotterdam, they have very beautiful looking theater styles with the large circular screens. And I have to say I was a little disappointed that I thought there'd be more of a grand show throughout there, but there really isn't compared to what you see on a lot of other cruise lines. The shows were pretty underrated in the main stage.
Yeah, we love the big, the Vegas style production shows that you get in the main theaters at a lot of cruise lines. It's been one of our highlights over the years on cruising. And we didn't get that experience at all from the new World Stage. And we did talk to a few other passengers as well. And there was a few other people that were kind of disappointed about that whole setup and how it was used. I felt like there was more capacity to do better.
Yeah, I think there was more potential than what they did with it. And I don't know if that is a post-COVID shutdown thing and they're just gearing back up. But the 21 days that we've spent post, it was very underwhelming what was there. Now, when we did go and see some things, like we had great shows with the comedians there, but we just didn't see any of the large shows that you thought that venue would
like our standard is, I'd love to see a live band in the pit and some people dancing and singing live music and putting on a show. And there's nothing like that. And we've had some questions on the channel from people about, pre-COVID, they were asking about Holland America getting away from doing big stage show presentations. Oh. And maybe this is what they're talking about, because maybe it has been a thing in the past that's now be changing with the World Stage. So I'm not sure if that might be a limitation of the World Stage, because there's no real area there that you can bring props out from the back behind a curtain and do all that big show type of stuff. But
you do have the screens that could work that way. So I was sort of expecting something a little more impressive than what we saw.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the World Stage wasn't used in a way that we are used to a main theater. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So the last thing that we noticed compared to other cruise lines was that there was amazing music on this ship, as we mentioned. The performers were wonderful, and we had a great time. But it felt like the options were restricted because of the layout of the ship. That when the rock band played, the piano bar couldn't play. A lot of times if there was... even the blues band was playing and the rock band was playing, you'd actually hear the music bleed between the two venues and kind of be a little bit disturbing. And other cruise ships, you will walk through the entire ship and you'll see a band playing in one bar, someone else playing in the atrium, someone else playing in a lounge farther up the ship. That really wasn't how it was done
You're
on.
right. Yeah, like we're used to going to, if you didn't like one style of music, you can go find another style somewhere else on a ship. But because the way Music Walk is set up, that it's all so close together, they literally take turns having their shows at different times.
Yep.
And so you really only have one option of music at the time. So, if you don't like one particular type of music, that means you've got an hour in between sets with nothing going on.
Yeah, for sure. And it was kind of funny because you would see the waves of people try to run from one venue to the next one and get seating. And sometimes they would just give up and stay in the one venue and they'd be over there listening to the music on the other side of the ship. And so it was kind of a funny setup where we had one or the other as opposed to multiple options
Yeah.
at the same time.
As much as we loved the talent, we're not sure we loved the setup.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's a little bit different than from New Amsterdam, our first experience, to the last two ships. New
Right.
Amsterdam, the Blues Club was a separate area altogether.
Right.
The Lincoln Center was a separate area altogether. There was no
Yes.
Rolling Stone, but there was a separate piano area.
Right.
So it was all
So the-
separated. And then a lot of times you'd walk between all those different venues and see them all happening at different times or close. So you had that feeling like you have on other cruise lines. But the Pinnacle class ship doesn't seem to have that as an option, just simply because of the way that it's all laid out.
The design, yeah. Still a great experience, but those are just a few things that sort of made us have a little pause and say, I wonder why they did it this way.
So as you can see, without even thinking about it, we had at least twice as many things that were good about our experience than things that we kind of made us scratch our heads about. So all in all, wonderful experience. Would we do Holland America again?
Absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt. I think
We have recommended it to everybody we know. Everybody we know. We really do enjoy the Holland America experience. We think they are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're looking for that type of cruise experience, that classic cruise experience, you can't go wrong. The food, the entertainment, the atmosphere, the beauty of the ships, it's all there. It's fantastic. You may, if you're looking for a different type of cruise experience, the water slides and maybe more so for children and a younger crowd, maybe not the first choice.
No.
I think young single couples could still enjoy it if they're by themselves and want a kind of romantic getaway.
Oh, definitely.
But for a family of children that are looking to do all that stuff that we know we've seen on other cruise lines, then it may not hit the mark there. But there was a lot of multi-generational families. So
Yeah, there is. But if you're traveling with teenagers and stuff like that, it's probably not the cruise line for you
Yeah.
at this stage. But the one thing I would mention is I found our service was amazing. Customer service, from everything from guest services to staff that we ran in throughout the ship. And that's generally the case with most cruise lines. But I have to say, Holland America staff, the guest services, they treated us wonderfully. They helped us with a lot of things with the return back to cruising, and I couldn't appreciate more how kind and friendly and helpful the staff were. They went above and beyond on many occasions for us.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. A highlight of our experience on all the ships was the service was fantastic. And
Yeah.
we still miss those staff today after we've gotten back home. So.
Yeah, for sure.
So I hope that helps you decide whether Holland America is right for you. And if you have any questions or comments, definitely put them down below there. We're always chatting back and forth with people about things on Holland America. And we've kind of become expert just by having that being our last 3 cruises in a row. So
Self-proclaimed experts. There's probably lots we don't know. We met people that
Oh,
have been on Holland America cruises and are 75 cruises in and stuff like that. Trust me, we were learning a lot from them.
they're experts, yeah.
Yeah, they're experts. We aren't. We're just beginners.
Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Maybe that's our problem. So.
Right.
But yeah, and we don't have any Holland America booked anytime soon. But as soon as we have the next opportunity where we have a space in our calendar we can book, then Holland America will definitely be up there in consideration.
For sure.
So thanks everybody, and like I said, comment below, and if you haven't subscribed already, then certainly subscribe or check out the rest of the videos on our channel. We have all our vlogs of daily activities on the Holland America ships, as well as some reviews of other cruises that we've done before, and more coming in the weeks and months ahead.
For sure.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.